Hello, friends. We are here to review the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think it's episode 3. Y'all, I don't have much. There wasn't much. I don't have much. I mean, last episode I already just did not really get moved by the sudden freak out thing. Like, it just really didn't matter to me. And like I was saying, like, I don't know if they're gonna push that forward, like if it's gonna have anything to do with anything. Now I will say, I just got some context after the episode because they are gonna talk about it some more. But on Sutton was on Watch What Happens Live, and she says, because Andy asked her like, what was the real reason you were upset or whatever at the Magic Mike, and she says that she was going through something that she's going to talk about on the show. So we're going to assume that it does have something to do with something. However, as of right now, episode 3, wherever the hell we are, it does not matter. You know, the first thing I can really note is that they do separate lunches. Like, they split off in twos. You know, who was it? We get Garcelle and Sutton. They do the gondola thing. And then we have Kyle and Dorit. And then we have Erica and Crystal. At first, because they show Erica and Crystal first. So I was thinking, like, oh, we're going to get cool dynamics. Like, they're going to switch it up a little bit, and they're going to do that purposely, you know, because obviously this is a producer thing. There's no way that they decided, oh, let's just split up into twos and go do different things. So it was a producer thing. Nothing going on while they're in Vegas. Everybody's bored, so they're trying to figure out what to do. So they're trying to mix it up. So with that, I'm thinking that they are going to purposely place, especially when I saw Crystal and Erica, I'm like, well, this is weird. I'm like, I don't think that they've ever had an opportunity to really connect. I actually think their relationship has been a little bit of awkward, especially like with the comments Erica made last season, like with the eating disorder stuff. I don't know. Erica just has always felt weird around Crystal to me. So I thought that there was going to be tea there. They get together and they really only, like Crystal tries, you know, she really only brings up the Sutton thing. And, you know, she does form an opinion about it. It's not really like scathy or like shady or anything. She just feels like Sutton overreacting and she freaks out, but we already know that. So, okay. And it seems like she kind of prompts Erica, but Erica's just not feeling it. Like, same story. Erica's like, you know, I'm really just not letting that bother me. Like, it is what it is. Erica's not really trying to get into it. Like, so nobody cares, you know? So we move on from that. And then we get, I believe that Garcelle and Sutton were next. Not necessarily a shakeup. I think maybe Sutton, and if we wanted it to be interesting, a little more interesting maybe, Sutton and a Kyle maybe would have been more interesting, and then a Dorit and Garcelle. Like, that really would have shook the table for me. Missed opportunities. But, you know, we get Garcelle and Sutton. Sorry. They talk about, you know, Garcelle's situation, talking about her kids, and Dorit wasn't really feeling it, but that didn't really move the conversation forward at all. Like, we already knew that. We had done that. And, you know, we talk about the Sutton and the Kyle thing a little bit. We don't move the conversation forward, though. We already talked about that. And that kind of ends them. And then we get to, you know, Kyle and Dorit. I'm saying what it should have been. Kyle and Dorit. And I'm already checked out of this one because I'm like, there's nothing here. But we do at least get, oh my God, that's so funny. Even in my notes, because it's literally Dorit and Kyle talking. In my notes, I wrote Sutton instead of Dorit because that's who should have been at the lunch. But listen, to Dorit's credit, you know, she is trying and she's asking, you know, Kyle about relationship stuff, right? They kind of talked about the Sutton stuff a little bit, but that's just not important. And then she asked her, has she stopped drinking, and is she kind of being a little bit more subdued and like working out on vacation because she's trying to regather control. Listen, I don't feel like I have enough context to understand why those things are important. They feel like a pull, like it's a weird connection to me, like because she's working out and she's not drinking, like this is a thing. Like I guess they're trying to say she's just being a little bit boring and a little bit more just like structured and just not like regular Kyle. That I would accept, right? But the isolated things just really don't connect for me. And we haven't seen it, right? It could very well be true. It could very well be these isolated things, but it's not like we've had time to really see it build up and occur a lot because we're only on episode 3. So hearing it just doesn't sound substantial, but it's like Dorit's trying to have a serious conversation with her. So it's just not connecting for me. She's asking her, you know, are you trying to get back control of your life? What's going on? So what I get from these talks It's just like they're trying to figure something out because we haven't even really gotten to the Mauricio thing. Like, we really don't have it. Like, Kyle's not giving anything as it pertains to the Mauricio thing. I don't even know if something exists right now. But, she's just kind of like, yeah, we had a tough time. I feel like he wasn't really there for me enough. But, we're figuring it out. Like, that's really all we're getting. So, the pull for the, like, are you trying to get control thing, like, Sutton brings up her getting tattoos. Like, everybody kind of said something, but it just didn't feel like a big deal. Like, I don't know. It's not connecting for me. Like, it feels like a weird, we know, because we know what's coming. Maybe they didn't know in that moment. That's why it's so awkward. But we know the Mauricio thing is coming, and it's just not connecting for me. Like, I don't know how we're getting to that endpoint. So, and then while they're at dinner, thank God Garcelle brought a little game, but that also just felt like weak attempt, like, oh my God, we're bored, pull out this game. Like, y'all kind of could have just had that conversation instead of pulling out a game. Like, that just felt so, like, desperate for y'all to talk and do something. So that part I was like, eh. Of course, the question she pulls out is about, or whoever pulled it out, is about, do you think monogamy is natural for people or whatever the heck? This felt so simple to me. Like, I already knew this conversation wasn't really going to go anywhere, and the real tea was going to be whenever Kyle jumped in. But again, at this point, and maybe there wasn't anything, but at this point, Kyle's not giving anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? She just kind of talks around the monogamy thing. And I think, I'm getting the insinuation, I guess, that she would like to be monogamous, but she feels like it's an individual thing where certain people can't be monogamous. But that's such a general statement. Like, I don't really know if it matters or not. I don't know if it's going to happen with anything. And even if something happens down the line that relates to this still won't feel like an aha moment to me. It just kind of feels like, okay, like that's something that I kind of would have assumed that she said. Like, there's no tea here. It's basically what I'm trying to say. So, whatever. She's kind of talking about how, there have always been cheating rumors with Mauricio, and they do a bunch of flashbacks. But again, at this point, she's like, but none of it's true. It's not an issue. Like, it is what it is. Whatever. So, just nothing. Like, literally, absolutely nothing. The best tea that we get, I would say, oh, goodness. The best tea that we get in the episode, I would say, is the link up between Kyle and Sutton. Like, that made me feel like, okay, we have some hope. And maybe we're going somewhere, coupled with the Watch What Happens Live. And because I'm thinking about BravoCon as well, and I guess Kyle, I didn't see this part, but Kyle said she took a step back from she and Sutton's friendship, and Sutton was just like, okay. But the internet was like, y'all were never friends, and the internet is also including me. So I feel like Sutton's coming to that realization even outside of the show, and now we get a chance to watch the episode, and they're meeting up, and they essentially end up talking about Vegas. Obviously, I don't think it matters, but since we're having a conversation about it in terms of like seeing now it looks like we are seeing the dynamic in Sutton and Kyle change, and it seems like the Vegas thing is going to play a pivotal part, I guess. So in those terms, I'll discuss it. Sutton feels like she's a little thrown off by Kyle, I guess. I want to say triggered. I don't really know what word to use. She's feeling some type of way about Kyle because she feels like Kyle always, I guess, inserts herself into situations, but they're always for the purpose of correcting Sutton. It's never like she's in the situation and she is saying like, so-and-so is wrong, and so-and-so has done this, or even saying like, so-and-so did this, but also Sutton, you shouldn't have done this. Like, it's just always at Sutton, and I will have to agree with that. And so I guess Sutton is feeling, she didn't even say that many words, but I'm helping her out. She's like, basically like, pick their side. She starts doing that thing because it does feel like Kyle does that. But it's difficult in general. But it's difficult to say that in this situation because it is like, I do think Sutton was doing too much with the whole Magic Mike thing, right? To Sutton's credit, though, and she kind of spelled it out on Watch What Happens Live, she said, I truly did, when I left Magic Mike, I truly did go to the bathroom. And I didn't ask anybody to follow me like they followed me. Like, don't follow me. So I think that that's a valid point, but yeah, that's a valid point. But that aside, they followed you. It happened. We had the scene. This occurred, and Sutton was acting a fool, and it really wasn't necessary. And so that to Kyle's credit, I have to give her that as well. Did Kyle insert herself in that situation? Yes. Was Sutton doing too much? Yes. Like, I don't know. But I think that Sutton is of the opinion of, like, I think Sutton's pulling from a place with Kyle of, like, well, this always happens, right? Like, it's not case specific for Sutton. It's like, Kyle's always on the other side of things when it comes to Sutton, regardless. And Kyle does give some valid pieces, valid things, right? Like I said, like of Sutton freaking out, like your ugly leather pants thing and all that other stuff. It's valid. So I don't know. I don't know. I think even that aside, like, I don't really think that that's the thing. Like, I guess if that's the thing for Sutton, then fine. But even outside of that, I think the world knows that Kyle is not Sutton's friend. Like, Kyle has some good points, but even outside of that, like, you never really seem to show up for Sutton anyway. You know what I'm saying? Even when Sutton isn't freaking out. I think that's the issue. I wish Sutton would have been able to articulate that, because it just took me a long time to workshop it. But yeah, like, Kyle's never really Sutton's friend. You know what I'm saying? So I think she needs to be a little bit more specific than that. But I feel like talking to Kyle, like, you always get forced. Like, when Kyle talks to Sutton, it's like talking to, like, a teenage child at the very least. And every time she's asking them something, it's like you have to have a reason, though, when you're talking to Kyle. Like, why did you do this? When you talk to a child, and they have to give you an answer. It's not just you are requiring an answer. And I feel like she does that with Sutton, and Sutton's just like, girl, like, I can't keep having these militant ass conversations with you because you don't do this with anybody else. So I think Sutton just wants to be able to be. And I think Kyle really does sometimes feel like she's just being a friend to Sutton, but she is much harder on Sutton than she is to anybody else, for sure. So maybe she doesn't see it. Like, I don't know. I think a piece of Kyle saying, and again, I didn't hear it, so I don't know the context, and I don't know her body language or anything, but a piece of Kyle saying that she's going to take a step back from a friendship with Sutton, it more so feels like because of the side of things that Kyle is on, and less on the side of things of, like, Sutton did something to her. That's just how I feel. I think Kyle just always feels a thing with Sutton as fueled by a certain part of the group. That includes Dorit and Erica. So, I don't know. Sutton even said that too. She's like, I guess I attract, what she say? I think she said the word drama. She's like, I attract drama. Like, when she was on Watch What Happens Live, because she's like, I went to the bathroom. They followed me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, did Sutton overreact? Yes. Does it matter? No, it's just not really that big of a deal. Does she claim she has a reason why she overreacts? Yes, I guess. And she says it's coming at the later part of the season. Is it going to matter then? I don't think so. But, this is what we're talking about in this season thus far. We're only on episode 3, so I'm gonna keep on waiting to see. But they're literally in Vegas, and they're literally on a trip at the beginning of the season. Like, it should be lit, and it's just it's 5 notes on my iPad. Like, I literally have nothing. So, but thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.